What is up, Yesh Gamers? Robert the Bruce here. Another episode of Squad Stompin'. We're looking at a big threat lockdown today. If you aren't aware, Squad Stompin' videos are videos where me and a good squad of Yesh Gamers do some stomping on the battlefield. But more importantly, it is understanding that even though we know we're not the best players out there, if we work together and communicate well, we can do some serious damage. The big threat lockdown is basically the idea that you just focus on always eliminating the big enemy threats. Helicopters, tanks, the big vehicles, basically. These are units on the battlefield, the big chess pieces, if you will, that can really single-handedly kind of turn the tides of a war. And you'll see throughout this almost entire match, myself and my squad mate, Matt Brooks, we're just focused on locking down the enemy vehicles. That doesn't mean we're sitting there C4ing them in their base being lame, but we're parked at the enemy flag. We're letting the enemy take off and come at us in the tanks and do whatever they can. But we're parked here. He's in the tank. I'm in the Hummer, and we're doing some serious work, just locking it down. And they never, or at least for a very long time, they did not come at us with a combined effort. It would be like one guy in a tank would get mad and come after us. Well, we could take care of him, repair our vehicles, and keep going. You know, one helicopter would get mad and come after us, but working together again, it didn't matter. They were no match for us. So just the two of us basically were able to single-handedly keep all of their big game-changing vehicles out of the game and out of commission for most of the round. And that gives our team the ability to move about freely. If they're only going up against infantry, they could quickly overwhelm the enemy and get the flag, head back and capture it. It was a beautiful thing. They eventually got me out of my Hummer and then as well got Matt out of his tank. Well, as soon as we were on our desk screen, we saw that our chopper was just sitting on our base. So we hopped into it and started doing some work from the air, like you'll see here in just a minute. And basically just did the exact same thing. Moving around the air, they never had any chopper pilots that were that great. And they had nobody on the ground even pretending to fire at us with stingers or anything like that. They very easily could have taken us down. You know, helicopters aren't that hard to shoot down these days. And I know I'm not the best pilot in the world. But because none of them were focused on taking out our big threats, we could keep them just basically pinned down to where all they could do is run around on bikes and have their infantry. Which, as we can all easily figure out, an enemy team that only has bikes and infantry is not going to be that big of a threat or competition to you. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, I would encourage you to take a Stinger or a Javelin or C4, something of that nature, and just, you and a buddy decide that throughout this entire game, regardless of my attacking or defending or whatever, I'm going to focus on making sure their choppers are shot down, or any enemy tanks are constantly being pestered by me firing javelins at them. Something like that. Eventually, you're going to not only keep them occupied, you're going to keep them knocked out, and they're going to be frustrated. They're going to eventually want to give up and not fly anymore, or get the tank anymore, and you remove those big pieces from the battlefield, and it gives your team an overwhelming advantage. And before you know it, just like this, you got an easy 3-0 victory, and they never really know what happened. So, thanks so much for watching. Throw a comment below with what you personally like to do to knock out those big pieces on the enemy team. And don't forget that in Capture the Flag, you don't always have to be scoring flags to rack up a great score and really help your team.